welcome you to our virtual office of WFG. I especially want to welcome those of you who are guests and visiting for the very first time. So, WFG stands for World Financial Group. We're actually an alliance with over 75% of Fortune 500 financial institutions, banks, and insurance companies. We've actually surpassed companies that have been in business for years. I'm talking about companies like Charles Schwab and Smith Barney. You guys have heard of them, right? Well, today we're actually recognizing the top 1% of over 8,000 broker dealers in the country. And tonight, you're about to witness the story of an established company with over $500 billion in assets. And we're in the process of revolutionizing the entire financial services industry. And with the philosophy of no family left behind, we are completely rewriting the record books on how financial products are being distributed in the country and actually in the world. Now, without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to two individuals who are highly qualified to share with you our company's story. First, I want to introduce you to the second speaker of the evening, okay? Now, Christopher Schloeman, one of the smartest men I know. He was actually in the telecommunications industry when it was up and coming, okay? He's been recognized as the MVP at our company's convention of over 40,000 associates. He's in business here with his beautiful wife, Michelle, and he's a CEO overseeing many offices across the nation, now earning multiple six figures. Christopher, thanks for speaking to us today. And now, I'd like to introduce you to a truly spectacular young lady who lights up any room that she walks into. Now, with a background in personal development and a best-selling book on Amazon called Motherhood's Not for Punks, this beautiful mother of four is the reason that many of the leaders in this room are here today, including myself. She's actually seen all sides of the business, first as a supportive partner, then as a beneficiary, and now as a highly respected leader and mentor in this very company. Please join me in introducing my amazing mentor and friend, Senior Marketing Director, Patrina Wisdom.
Yes, thank you, Sanaya. I so appreciate that incredible, warm welcome and introduction. I want to thank everybody for showing up tonight. I know there's a million places that you could be, and we're very happy and actually honored that you decided to spend the evening with us. You will not regret it. You're going to hear some incredible information tonight. This company changed my life 20 years ago. And literally, I've been with this company 20 years. In 2000, my husband and I actually was introduced to the World Financial Group through one of the agents who came to our home and sat down and shared the financial information and concepts that I actually get an opportunity to share with you today. And it completely changed our lives. At the time, my husband was working in management at the Las Vegas Hilton. Yes, I'm actually born and raised in Las Vegas, believe it or not, and not in a hotel, but in Las Vegas. He's working in management, and I am more of a free spirit, healer, entrepreneur, artist type, if you couldn't already tell. And so I had been a serial entrepreneur since I was about 15, 16 years old. So when we got introduced to this company, both my husband and I had learned how to make money, but neither one of us had ever had any experience, any knowledge or education in how to save and invest money. And that's what this company brought into our home. So we sat down with one of the advisors from World Financial Group. We put our personal financial GPS strategy in place, which you'll hear more about in a moment. We got our investments and our insurances. We started saving for emergencies and getting out of debt and creating, or at least getting on track to create a financial legacy for our family that none of our ancestors, right, our parents, their parents had ever done before. And it felt great. It felt so great that my husband really saw the potential and the opportunity, and he fell in love with the mission of our company, which is, the motto is no family left behind. And the mission is really to build wealth for families. And we were one of those families. So my husband decided to come on board with the company on a part-time basis and start building a business here. Shortly after, about a year and a half later, he ended up transitioning full-time into his WFG business because he had replaced his income and he wasn't passionate about doing management, right? Most of us are not passionate about being in corporate America. We're just there because it's a means to an end. But what he realized very quickly working with this company is that he didn't want to spend the rest of his life trading time for money. And he wanted to do something that was going to have a true impact in people's lives. So he came full time in the business. Me being the supportive wife, I decided to sell the business that I had at the time, which was a salon spa, where I was helping people and doing what I loved. But I wanted to be a part of creating our legacy for our family. So we have multiple people in our family who are in business with us. And together we started to create an incredible legacy through this company. Now, if you fast forward to 2009, well, 2008, actually, all of us probably remember exactly where we were in 2008 when the market takes a complete dump, the mortgage crisis is going on, things are in complete chaos. Well, like many other men, my husband took a lot of pride and he put a lot of his heart and his soul into building his business. And he pretty much put his identity into how well he took care of his family, but also how well he did in his career, right? So 2008 hit him really, really, really hard. And unfortunately, he fell into a bit of a depression. This depression went in and out for about a year, unrecognizable to me. And unfortunately, in January of 2009, January 6th to be exact, my husband woke up one morning, put his suit and tie on, grabbed his briefcase, gave me and my 3 children at the time a kiss goodbye. He told us he loved us and he walked out the door knowing he wasn't coming home. He went missing for 24 hours. And the next morning I found out my husband had committed suicide. So overnight, my life completely changed. And I became a beneficiary of what we do for families in a big way. If I had never been a part of this company, I never would have had life insurance that paid out, even though my husband passed the way that he did. I wouldn't have had savings. I would not have had investments. Most importantly, I would have had zero financial education because I grew up with a mom who had me at 16 years old, no financial education herself. And what I learned about money was you steal from Peter to pay Paul and you just kind of work and spend. So this company I'm so grateful for because they completely reshaped my mindset around money and the value of money. They taught me how to manage and grow and create a legacy for my family that I can truly be proud of. But it really granted me more than that. It granted me the opportunity to take control of my life when my husband passed away because we had built a business that I then was able to step into and pick up and continue the legacy for my family. I could go on and on about this company, but if you fast forward, I took over the business. I kind of got it back up and running, even though I had never really had any kind of experience in financial service. But because of our system, because of the mentorship, because of the support that we have available here, I was able to learn what I needed to learn and continue to grow our organization. You fast forward to 2020, I now live in San Diego, California, beautiful San Diego. I've been here for about 9 years. I've completely recreated my life with my not 3, but 4 children, because the same day that my husband passed, I also found out I was pregnant with my 4th child. So for the past 10 plus years, almost 12 years, I've been raising my kids as an entrepreneur, single mom, and it's been an amazing journey. And I really, truly attribute a lot of that to this company. So I'm really thrilled to share with you the concepts that I learned that completely changed everything for me. And I'm also excited to introduce the speaker later, who's going to tell you a little bit about the opportunity as well. Because if it weren't for this business and the associations and everything that I have access to, there's a lot of things in my life that may not have unfolded the way that they have. So who is WFG? I know a lot of you are probably wondering that right now. WFG's mission is to help families from all walks of life build a better future for themselves. So I want you to consider a few things as I'm going through this information. I want you to think about who you know who could benefit from hearing these same concepts or seeing this webinar. I want you to ask yourself, can this information help you and your family financially? And then the last thing I want you to be thinking about, because a little later you're going to hear a little bit more about our opportunity and our business. So I want you to be thinking about, is this a business that intrigues you? Like I said, I'm a healer, free spirit, artist type hippie chick. I never thought I'd be in financial services. But what we do for families and how it affects our own lives personally, right? We got to save ourselves first before we put the mask on someone else. With that, I'm so passionate and fired up about what we do for families that I've now been here, like I said, for 20 years. So we're going to go to the next slide. And I want to tell you a little bit about the structure of our company, because that's important, the strength of a company. You already heard from Sanaya that we have over 40 billion in assets through our company. But the reason that is because we have a parent company called Aegon. And Aegon is based out of the Netherlands and Asia. So the way the story goes is they were already a very strong companies in the financial industry, and they wanted to have a presence here in the United States. So a smart business move is, instead of coming here and completely creating something new, why don't we acquire some successful companies and then take those companies to the next level? So that's what happened. Aegon purchased Transamerica, and Transamerica is a sister company to World Financial Group. We at World Financial Group are the marketing arm. So our job really is to service the clients, right? And we get to do that with the power and strength of Aegon and Transamerica on our sides. So what I want to talk about now is the concepts, right? And who we have access to. When we see the words strength and selection, what that means is that we're not a one-size-fits-all company. And the beautiful part about that is that we don't have to be in sales. We can be completely 100% in service, which totally resonates for me because I'm a servant leader, right? I'm a healer. And so when you look at this, you see companies that you recognize like Everest and Nationwide and Transamerica and Pacific Life. There's hundreds more of these type of financial companies in our platform that we're able to bring to our clients so that we can customize financial plans for them. As a matter of fact, these are the companies that are fighting to be on our platform because of the people that we're able to bring to them and all of the different types of people that we're able to serve. So our target market really is Middle Americans. I'm sure that you will all agree that most of Middle American, whether you're African American, Caucasian, Indian, Hispanic, whatever, that we've pretty much been left behind. Nobody's taught us the financial concepts and the wealth principles that we need in order to build success in our lives. So that's what our company is doing. We're bringing the Wall Street, right, of all the companies, the information, the education, and the support to Main Street. And we're helping people in these areas. We help people get properly protected. We want to look at, hey, what are you covered in case you live too long and you start to outlive your income? But also, are you covered if you pass too soon, right? We all know we're going to go one day. We just don't know how, and most of us don't know when. So why not make sure that your family is going to be taken care of in either way? And I'm very lucky to be a product of life insurance. You know, when I was 35 years old and I became a widow with 3, soon to be 4 children, you know, if it weren't for that life insurance money, I don't honestly know if I would have the same life that I have today. So I'm very grateful for that. It's a small investment up front for a big, huge payout and peace of mind later. We also want to look at growth. So we want to help you grow your money through investments and other vehicles, right? So we want to teach you the concepts to know how to properly do that so you can reach the goals that you're looking to accomplish within the time frame that you're looking to accomplish them. And then we want to make sure that we're doing it safely, right? There's a lot of things out there where the market's going to go up, the market's going to go down. We want to make sure that you're growing your money safely so that you can keep more of it and make sure that you're accomplishing all of the things that you're looking to accomplish. So in order to do that, keep more money in your pocket, we also want to look at tax advantages. We give Uncle Sam, quote unquote, a lot of our money. Now, mind you, most of it's, being put to good use. But what if we could show you some strategies where you can actually keep more of your hard-earned dollars in your pocket? All right. So let's get into it. We're going to talk first about this concept of compound interest, or the rule of 72. This is also referred to as the banker's rule and a whole bunch of other things. But basically the way that this works is it's going to show you how long it'll take for your money to double when you put it in certain investments. So let's say that everybody on this call is now 29 years old. Yeah, say thank you. And I'm going to gift you $10,000, but you can't spend it. You have to save it. Where would most people save that money? In the bank, right? And in the bank, they're going to give you maybe 1%, usually less. But at 1%, you put your 10,000 in at 29 years old, and at 101, it's going to double and be $20,000. Is that awesome? Everybody say no, it's not awesome. But if you fast forward here on the screen and look at 10%, right? If we could find you 10% earnings on your money, you put it in at 29 years old, that same $10,000 is going to magically turn into $640,000 by the time you're 72 years old. Why is that? Because the rule of 72, Albert Einstein is actually the one who came up with this whole concept and formula. He was a pretty smart guy. He said that if you take 72 and divide it by the interest rate you're earning or paying on your money, it'll tell you how long it's going to take for that money to double. So that's great news when you're saving. But what about when you're paying off debt? Most of our interest rates on credit cards are way higher than 10%. Would you agree? So now, even at 10%, we're making the banks $640,000 from our $10,000. Now, I don't know about you, but that kind of upsets me a little, because then I get to retirement age and I have a shortfall. And so that means I have to go back into the workforce and work another, who knows, maybe 20 years to make up that money that I gave to the bank. So we don't want to do that. So how do we invest our money and get those higher returns? I'm going to show you, because there's a few different ways to invest. Now, obviously, this is just an overview. All right, so we're going to go through some concepts really quickly. And if you have further questions, you'll get together with the person that invited you, and you'll have a chance to take a deeper dive. But the options for your money really are fixed, right? Which is like the flat line that you get at your bank, low interest rates, but pretty safe. You've got your variable investments, and the variable investments, I can't talk today. They're going to go up, they're going to go down. They're going to go up, they're going to go down. And every time the market goes up and down, so does your money. So you have a lot of opportunity for growth, but you're also going to experience all of the lows of the market. And then you're just going to hope and pray that you're in the right place when you go to take your money out at retirement. All right. I don't know about you, but that looks like heart attack, and I'm not ready to have a heart attack. So we have another place where we can save our money, and that's our index accounts. Now, the way that these index accounts work is that you get the opportunity for the growth on your money, but without experiencing the downs, right? So no downside, but opportunity for upside. So when your money grows, if the market dips, you lock in. And then when the market recovers, you continue to grow your money. So it looks a lot more like a stair step than a heart attack. All right. So now let's talk about taxes, because that's also extremely important. Did you know that there's actually 3 ways that your money can be taxed? And it's based on the vehicle that you choose to invest your money. We have our tax now category, which we all know about, the savings and certificates of deposits and things of that nature. Yes, they're fairly safe, but guess what? You're putting post-tax money in. As your money grows, it's being taxed, getting a haircut. And then when you go to take your gains, because you've grown it since putting it in, you're going to get taxed again. So essentially, you're getting taxed 3 times in the tax now category. We also have our tax later category. And there, that's usually accounts that you get through your employer, right? So it's pre-tax dollars that they're putting into the investment. You're able to grow it tax-free, but then when you go to take your money out, you're going to be taxed. Now, I don't know about you, but I'd much rather be taxed on maybe the 10,000 I put in rather than the 4,000 that I'm going to take out, right? But we don't think about this. We're like, yeah, let's get those tax advantages now. Not that it's a bad vehicle, but again, you just need to know your options. Now, we also have a tax advantaged category. Let me tell you about this, because this is really the bracket where wealthy people continue to get wealthy, right? They get richer. Tax advantage are your Roth IRAs, your cash accumulation and life insurance policies, and a lot of different other vehicles that are available to you. And with these products, you're putting in post-tax money, but guess what? You get to grow it tax-free, and you get to take your distributions tax-free. And on top of that, you don't have all the restrictions that you have in the tax later category, like the 59.5 rule, where you'll get taxed and penalized if you take it earlier, or the 72.5 rule, where if you don't start taking required minimum distributions, you're also going to get taxed and penalized, and then some other limitations for access and contribution. So the tax advantage column doesn't have all that. Now, if you're like me, I like to know my options and maybe put a little bit in each of those buckets. All right. So when saving your money, you want to make sure that you consider the effects of the taxes so that you can also make sure that you're saving and investing and putting your money in the right place. So how is it that we help people? That's probably the question you're asking. Great. I'm understanding these concepts. I know I need to apply these in my own financial life, but how do I do it, right? So here at World Financial Group, we don't actually sell any products. Everybody go, ooh, right? We are literally here to serve. We're here to analyze where you are financially, see what you have in place currently, what your goals and dreams are, and then we're going to go shop the market, see what products and services you may need and to supplement your financial plan so that you can reach those goals. And then we come back and make a recommendation. By the way, we never charge the people that we sit with, believe it or not. All right. So what we do is a free financial needs analysis, and we sit down, we'll look at your cash flow. Do you need to earn additional income, or do you just need to manage your expenses better? I think all of us probably need to do both, right? We also want to make sure that you have an emergency fund. So that's 3, 6, 9, 12 months worth of income sitting there available in case of emergencies. We want to make sure that we're helping you to reduce and eliminate your debt. Make sure that you're properly protected, again, if you live too long or if you pass too soon. And then we want to help you build wealth. We want to build that wealth with inflation in mind, outpacing inflation, reducing taxation. So we're keeping more money in our pockets and we can leave a legacy that we can be proud of. And then lastly, we also want to preserve your wealth, right? So now we've started to build it. We're feeling good about ourselves. Our mindset about money has completely changed. Our lives starting to change because money is about as important as oxygen, right? And so now we want to preserve it. How do we reduce the taxation on the estate you've built and make sure that your legacy and your estate is transferable to your heirs without controversy and friction? Well, these are the things that we actually help people with. So if there's intrigue there, which I know there must be, again, we do this completely complimentary. So make sure that you get together with the person who invited you and get your free financial needs analysis. You go to the doctor and get your checkup, right? We can't just get our physical and mental checkup. We also need to get a financial checkup, right? Checkup from the head up. So at this time, I get an opportunity to introduce or reintroduce, I should say, someone that has been an incredible mentor and supporter so far in my business. Again, one of the smartest people in the company for sure, so business-minded, but also a family man with very, very strong spiritual values and spiritual life that pours over into us. So very grateful to be a part of his organization. So I'm going to pass it over to Mr. Christopher Schloeman.
Thanks so much, Patrina. Great job. That was a terrific job. Really, really, really. It's such a great story, and yet it's such a tragic story in some ways. I mean, what you went through with your husband, Alex, I remember him many years ago, and how difficult that was. And yet how incredibly like you've grown since then, taking all the responsibility, certainly the benefits of having a good plan in place. He did a terrific job of preparing the plan for all of you, but just such an honor to be in business with you and such an inspiration to see that it's a great reminder. It's not what happens to you, right? But it's how you respond. And I think a lot of times you look at this year, 2020, as you look at sort of the next slide here, we had a big event in January, and it was called 2020 Vision, because 2020 is perfect vision. And so we had this vision of this next year and this vision of this next decade. We had over 1,000 of our agents there. It was a big kickoff meet. It was super exciting. It's me and my wife and 2 of our children there. And then like everything that you couldn't have predicted happened in 2020. Like it started off with COVID, and then it went from COVID to 2 weeks of just stay at home, right? Just 2 weeks. We just got to flatten the curve for 2 weeks, and 2 weeks became 4, and then it was going to be Easter, and then next thing you know, we're in for a long summer, and then we had the civil unrest in the country, and the upcoming election, and the year just went so sideways. And it's a great reminder. It's that it's your perspective that makes a big difference. Is this happening to us, or is this happening for us? And so we had a follow-up event to that 2020 Vision event, and in August we called the event Pivot, because it was a change in strategy but not a change in vision. In other words, our vision was still remained the same as to what we wanted to achieve and the difference we wanted to make, but we had to change our strategies. And so we quickly migrated to the Zoom technology. And here's what I can tell you. COVID is real, and it's crazy what's going on in so many different ways. It's unfathomable, unimaginable in our country. We don't have the cure to COVID, but here's what we do have, and this is what Patrina described. We've got the cure to financial COVID, and that's really what she described earlier. We've got a plan that helps people with financial COVID. It helps people with this disease that oftentimes is generational, this disease that oftentimes we bring onto ourselves from a lack of understanding or poor choices. We don't get quality advice. We didn't learn this stuff in school. And then sometimes this financial disease comes to us unexpectedly. We have a health challenge that just totally wasn't expected, couldn't plan for, that devastates people. And so we've got a plan that really helps people to get healthy again financially. And that's the core of what we do. That's what Patrina was talking about. And the second part of that is, I'm not going to be bashful about this. I've got about 12, 15 minutes here to sort of finish things up for you. We're really super passionate about helping people get solutions that make a difference. We're really super passionate about getting people solutions and the medication, if you will, to the financial challenges or issues or struggles that you're dealing with. And maybe you're already healthy. So in that case, we've got a vaccine that makes you even healthier, that boosts that supplements what you're already doing, I believe. And it's a supplement of ideas. It's a boost of ideas. And Patrina got a chance just to share a few of those with you, but we're really passionate about getting these ideas out to as many people as possible. And the second thing we're passionate about is getting more people to help us get this message out. And that's what I'd like to talk a little bit about here on the second half of our little presentation tonight, our little corporate overview. So I want to first start talking really about our unique business platform. If you look at our platform, there's so many things that are unique about it. This is the best way I could sort of put this. It's almost like we're a disruptor in the financial services industry. You look at what Uber did to the taxi industry. What did Uber do? Uber took technology and completely disrupted that industry. It made it easier to access the services that we needed. It made it more efficient, and it made it far more cost effective. And without purchasing any vehicles, Uber became, in a very short period of time, sort of the largest taxi service of all time. The other thing that Uber did that was unique was they recruited a whole bunch of new people to the industry that would have never been a part of the old industry. They would have never been a part of the old taxi cab industry, but a whole bunch of new people took this on as a sort of a side hustle in the gig economy. They needed a part-time income, something to supplement their full-time income, or a sort of a soft place to land between jobs where they could keep their income up, pay their bills as they were looking for a new job, or sort of a transition point, if they will, or somebody comes into additional expenses. It was sort of a Band-Aid, sort of a spare tire in the trunk, if you will. And then for some people, it just became necessary for them to have that additional income all the time. For other people, it became sort of full-time opportunity. we're sort of like the Uber of financial services. We're like the Airbnb of financial services. In other words, we found inefficiencies in the marketplace. We use software and technology to sort of disrupt that and to make it easier for people like us to get access to the highest quality products, the highest quality services, and the best ideas in the marketplace. And that's part one of our story. Part two of our story is this, is we recruited a whole bunch of new people to our industry that would have never been a part of the old industry. Like Merrill Lynch, Dean Woiter, Smith Barney is not beating down the doors of Patrina Wisdom saying, man, we need to hire this young lady. As smart as she is, as talented as she is, gifted as she is, she's not what they're looking for. I'm quite frankly not what they're looking for. Our company is filled up with 45,000 licensed agents around the United States and Canada that the traditional financial services industry, most of us would have never considered working for them. And most of us, they probably wouldn't have wanted us in the first place, right? But we've got this unbelievable platform and this company inside of an industry that's taken a new approach to an old industry. And we're rewriting the record books in this industry. So I want to walk through it real quick. Number one, you see no financial services experience necessary. What Patrina said, we've got unbelievable training. This week, just out of our local offices, and I'm going to talk a little bit in a minute about our local offices, we've got a half a dozen different training times this just the course of this week, and we've got well over 20 classes available just this week from our local offices and successful agents like Patrina, myself, that have been here for years and years and years. I've been with the company for 21 years now. In addition to that, the company and our product providers provide another 36 different live training programs that are also recorded throughout the week that all of our agents have access to. The second bullet point, test drive the opportunity. You can start part-time. I was a six-figure income earner in the telecommunications industry for over a decade before I started here. I wasn't about to leave my full-time career that I had spent a decade building and try something new because it sounded good. But what I was able to do is get started part-time. They helped me to get a license part-time. I got the training and began to learn about the products and services in the industry and how do taxes work and how do investments work. And this was all stuff I wanted to learn for me. I wanted to learn this stuff so I could do a better job of managing my own money. But then as I began to learn about this stuff, I got excited about sharing these ideas with other people. And then on working with my mentor, working with my coach, I transitioned into a full-time career with the company. As you continue to look down on the left-hand column there, you see leadership development, mentoring business model. You know, if you go on Instagram today, you know, there's a big space on Instagram for all these influencers and all these people with podcasts and all these people with cool ideas and cool memes and these cool quotes. And everybody needs a coach and you need a mentor and you need good associations. And that's sort of what we're told in Instagram and by influencers and on every podcast under the planet, right? Here's what you have inside of this company. You have real coaches and real mentors that have actually done it. Not ones that have read books and are talking about it, not ones that are teaching it, but ones that have actually succeeded in real life inside of our company and outside of our company in life. And you've got so many coaches and mentors here ready to coach and mentor you. You've got personal coaches and mentors that work with you. I'm 21 years in. I'm going to go see my mentor tomorrow. I talk to him every single day and he's helping me to get from where I am to the next level. It's unbelievable when you've got mentors that don't just give you generic ideas, but they give you specific ideas how you can excel in your chosen career. You look down the rest of that left-hand column, you've got the power of choice and strength on your side. Here's what we have. We have over 100 of the top companies in the industry, insurance, investment companies, state, you name it, across the book, over 100 of these companies. It's like an Amazon Prime platform that our agents get to pick and choose from, and they get a chance to choose the best products from the best companies with the lowest price and the greatest amount of benefits for each individual client. It's not a one size fits all. Each and every client gets a personal, customized approach by our agents, and we teach you how to do that as you get into our training programs. If you go to the column to the right here, there's a couple of things I just want to touch on. Most important is this: equal opportunity for all, a diverse field force, and serving the underserved market. What do I mean by those three bullet points? Here's what I mean. In 2020, it's really popular for big companies like ours to rewrite their mission statements and say, hey, we're really into diversity. We think it's super, and to write big checks to show how they're into diversity. Here's what I can tell you. If you look at our 45,000 agents across the United States and Canada and Puerto Rico, you're going to see the most diverse company I've ever seen in my lifetime. And it's not something we decided like 6 months ago because it was really popular to do, because Instagram and Twitter told us it was a good idea and the news told us. No, this was a decision we made decades ago when this division was formed. We decided as a company, the leaders did, not me, the leaders of this company, decided that if we want to serve the needs of a diverse community, that we have to be as diverse as the communities that we serve. What you're going to see in a minute here is that when I turn to the next page, is just how diverse our local leadership team is. Why is that important? Because we're taught as children that you can't judge a book by its cover. But we also sort of learn this growing up oftentimes, that birds of a feather flock together. And there's certain clients that are just going to feel more comfortable working with Patrina than they do me. And there's other clients that might feel more comfortable working with me than Patrina. And there's other clients that won't feel comfortable working with either one of us because they need a millennial to work with, or they need somebody to speak Spanish, and neither one of us speaks Spanish. It's important for people to do business with people they like and trust and can connect with. And the magic of our company, as great as all these companies and product providers are, and all these great ideas that we have to share in the marketplace, the real magic is the people that work here and the difference that they make, the kind of people that want to serve, the kind of people that want to make a difference, and the diversity of that group. We're the #1 company in our industry for women. We have more successful women working for us than any other company in the industry. We've been awarded that prestigious title 7 years in a row by an independent company, and we don't plan on giving that up anytime soon. There is no glass ceiling here. Many of the top earners, many of the top leaders in our entire company are women, and we're excited about that. What you'll see here on this next slide is sort of proof in the pudding of what I'm talking about. Well, first of all, a little bit about compensation, then I'll show you actually our leadership team. Compensation is important. Patrina said earlier that money's not everything, but it's right up there with oxygen, right? You need it to live. And so what does income look like in our industry? Well, if you're a senior marketing director that has a life security and advisory license, what does that mean? Here's basically what it means. A senior marketing director is our entry-level supervisor position. So if you're an entry-level supervisor with our company, the average income is $86,084 a year. And the highest supervisor in that title is making just over $1 million a year. Patrina and Sanaya earlier introduced me as the CEO marketing director with the company. The average CEO in our companies earning just a little bit over $350,000 a year. Our top CEO in the company is at $2.9 million a year. I tell you what, when I looked at this company 21 years ago, I was earning a 6-figure income in the telecommunications industry. I was earning about $130 a year, and I was grateful. I was happy. I was proud of that. I worked my tail off to get there. But here's what I knew: that AT&T, Verizon, none of those companies had any plans of paying me $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a year. Like, I didn't go to the right school. I wasn't golfing with the right guys. I didn't go to happy hour with the right people. I was a hardworking middle manager guy who was working hard to try and go in early, stay late, bring home work on weekends, trying to make it happen. And I was excited about what I was earning. But I was much more excited when I got the chance here to work with mentors and coaches who helped me to double and triple and quadruple my income that I was earning in that previous industry. Real quick on the right-hand side here, what you see is there's over 20 ways that we actually earn income with this company, but just highlighting a couple of them. Personal income is when we sit down and help clients individually. Agency income is for those of you who have supervisory experience or training experience, or you want to get into the management role. There's additional income for you. There's expansion income if you want to help us open new offices in new parts of in new communities, in new cities, in new counties, in new states. There's also bonus income that's available to you each and every month. And then the fifth one that I just love highlighting is recurring income. What is that? It's passive income. It's residual income. What does that mean? That means every year, January 1st, 2021 is about to hit. A whole bunch of us that have been with this company for a number of years already can predict how much money before we get out of bed January 1st we're going to make, because you continue to get paid year after year after year on what you've already done. That's the way passive residual income works, and it's really super exciting. One of my favorite words, passive. I love that. What you'll see here on the next slide is what I've talked about earlier, the diversity of our local leadership team. I don't know if you guys could zoom in on the top on the field advisory board just to get started. All of the individuals on the top 2 rows here that we see, minimum $250,000 earners. The majority of those individuals are $500,000, $750,000, and $1 million and up a year earners. So there's a big difference between being a millionaire, somebody who has $1 million, and somebody who's earning over $1 million a year. You can see literally people of all ages, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and even 70s in that top two rows. People of all different ethnicities, people of all different backgrounds. And then when you go down to the bottom 5 rows, our local leadership council there, what are you going to see? Even greater diversity. All of those people are earning a minimum of a 6-figure income, many of them $250,000, some of them $500,000. This is just our local leadership team. It really gives you a great appreciation as to how diversified we are. I want to highlight 3 of these couples real quickly for you. On the next slide here, you'll see Steve and Carol Adams. I hope that they're not on because they'll get mad at me, but Steve and Carol, if I share this, but Steve and Carol are 76 years old. They're an unbelievable couple. They provide so much wisdom and guidance to so many of us. They've been married for over 50 years. Steve and Carol have been in the industry for over 2 decades. They're 6-figure income earners year after year after year. Now, I got to tell you this, many people that we know today in 2020 earning a 6-figure income are working 60, 70, 80 hours a week. That's not Steve and Carol. They're in their 70s. Like, this is sort of a hobby. They enjoy the trainings. They enjoy helping other retirees manage their money. They're really good at working with retirees. You know who they're not great at working with? Millennials. Millennials don't relate well to them, no matter how much experience and knowledge they have. But they've built a great career here, and I'm proud to have them in our local office. On the next slide here, you'll see my good friends Quentin and Rachel O'Connell. Quentin and Rachel worked in a grocery store, and together, between the two of them combined, they made $40,000 a year. That's them on their picture on the left there. They certainly don't look like great candidates to go work at Merrill Lynch, right? I don't think they'd be upset with me saying that. But you look at them on the right. That's them after a career with us. And you can see how much they've grown and matured and sort of developed. Today, they earn over $250,000 a year with us. They work out of Colorado Springs, Colorado. It's beautiful there. Not only are they earning a great income, but they've been able to manage their money so well over the years because of the ideas that they've learned here and some of the products they've had access to. And then on the last slide here, Nikki and Kermit Cannon, literally 2 of my best friends in the entire world, 2 of my favorite people in the planet. They're there with their son, Cassius. Nikki graduated from USC, and she worked at Monster.com, not the energy drink place, but the place that helps with resumes and human resources and so forth. Nikki went into business with me over 15 years ago. She actually got stuck. I met her on July 3rd. I'll never forget the day I met her. And on July 4th, she decided that she wanted to start just part-time with us. She wasn't sure if it was going to work out. And today she's over $250,000 earner. Matter of fact, the first 100 days of quarantine, she earned over $120,000 in just that 100-day period of time while working from home on Zoom and helping her son Cassius go through his first Zoom classes as he finished off the 2nd semester earlier this year. It's just like truly an amazing American success story. It couldn't happen to better people. What you'll see here on the next slide is our last slide. And I'm going to ask you the same 3 questions to finish tonight's presentation that Patrina did at the beginning. Number 1, do you know somebody that could benefit from this message? Somebody that might be interested in listen to a short 40-minute message and learn a little bit about who we are, what we do for clients, how we help people manage money, or somebody might be interested in supplementing their income or even making a career transition if the money was right. 2, is there anything that Patrina or I shared that you're curious about? Like, here's just one idea. She shared like an idea about these indexed products that grow with the market and yet have guarantees you can't lose money when the market goes sideways. I'd be like, that's something interesting to learn about. What if those products existed? Not only those products existed, but they had the tax advantages that she was describing as well, where they're not taxed like your retirement plan at work. You don't pay any taxes when you pull the money out in retirement. Those are real products. Tens of thousands of Americans buy them every single month. The challenge is you can't get them at the workplace. You can't sign up for them at work. You need an advisor. You need somebody like us, like an agent with our firm, to help you learn about those products. Now, I don't know if they're right for you, but here's what I know. You ought to at least find out about them so that you can decide, is that something that would help your family with your savings and investment goals? If that's not, there's about a half a dozen other ideas that are super unique in the marketplace that most people I sit down with have never heard of before. And knowledge is power. And so the more that you know about these ideas, the better decisions that you can make. Lastly, are you intrigued by the business? Are you intrigued by the idea of maybe getting started with this part-time, maybe taking some classes with us, maybe upping your financial information game so that you can make better choices in the future? Maybe starting part-time with us, maybe getting a license with us, and maybe as you learn some of these ideas, helping us to share some of these ideas with others. Here's the last couple of steps. They're going to show a poll for you right now. Just let the person that invited you know, what are you most interested in? Is it learning about the financial solutions? Is it maybe interviewing with us to see if it might be a fit for a part-time career? Or is it both of the above? Check one of those boxes. Contact the person who invited you. Just let them know where we can provide more information, what questions we can answer, and what we can do to help you. Hey, 2020 has been a mess on the outside. We can't control what's going on with the government. We can't control what's going on with COVID. We can't control what's going on in the election. We can't control any of that. But what we can control is what's going on in our own home and the choices that we make about our money and our careers and how we're going to earn income, how much we're going to earn, and what we're going to do with it. Those are choices we can't control. And I want to encourage you to reach out to the person that contacted you first and get as much information as you can so that you have access to the best quality information available. And hopefully we can help you to make even better decisions as 2020 comes to a close and we all look forward to launching into 2020. Thanks so much, everybody. God bless. Have a great evening. We sincerely appreciate you for spending a few minutes with us tonight. Take care.